Okay, I'm gonna try to keep this short because I think my battery is about to die. But I guess the first thing of real significance to talk about is the asvab test. I'll do another detailed video about exactly what's on this test, but I just want to give you like a really brief rundown, a few quick pointers. When you go to take the asvab test, two things are probably going to happen. In my case, when I came in, I'd previously taken the asvab, but I took it in high school because I was in like a job skill training. Really had all my credits done. I didn't have to retake a lot of classes or anything like that. I wasn't taking a lot of AP classes or anything, so I was in the half a day. So you only take 2 classes, and the rest of the day you either go to work or you go home. So part of that was job skill training, and so we had to keep our options open. So part of that was taking the asvab. I didn't get my score back. I assume I did well because a lot of recruiters were calling me after I took that test. But because I did not have that score, I had no idea what I had on that particular test. They went ahead and gave me like a practice test. They give you a paper version of the test, which is very succinct compared to the actual test. They give it to you normally in the recruiter's office. Has, I don't know, between 10 and 12 questions from, math, basic computation skills, and a little algebra, some English, and some reading. You take that test. I think you get like 30-40 minutes to take the test. When you take the test, they're going to score it for you and give you a general idea of where you are. If they feel like your score is strong enough, they'll go ahead and schedule you to take the role asvab. If your score is a little weak, then they'll give you some websites to make some suggestions for you to study a little bit. Maybe refamiliarize yourself with some of the information if it's been a while since you've been in school. And then they'll set up the time for you to go ahead and take the test so you're more comfortable. I'm doing a video!
Turn the damn air freshener on. What you need to do with the straight self?
You're so retarded. So anyways, what was I going to say? Oh yeah. So after you take that, actually I didn't do very well on the practice. I can't really say why. I was a little nervous. I was in a rush. I actually didn't know that I was going to have to take the practice test that day. I was just going to get information. I wasn't planning on taking the test. So I went ahead and took it, and I didn't do very well. I think I got like a 40-something, which is not really good because you need a 50 at least. Just need a 50 to join the Navy. I think you need like a 32 for the Army though. Anyways, yeah, but he was like, based on, and I actually skipped a couple questions that I forgot to go back. I was scatterbrained that day. I skipped a couple questions I was supposed to go back. I didn't even go back to them. So he was like, no, based on the score that I did get, based on the ones that I didn't get correct, he felt confident enough for me to go ahead and take the test, which I believe was the next day. So when you take the test, the actual test, you're going to go down to MEPS, Military Entrance Processing Station. You're going to go down there. Your recruiter's going to send ahead some information about it. He's going to ask you a bunch of questions and send your information down there. When you come in, at my location anyways, make sure to park in the back, because they'll wait for you to come in, and then if you didn't park in the back, they'll make you go back out and repark. So make sure you park behind the building. You come in, make sure you don't have any, weapons, no fingernail files or pocket knives. Just don't bring any of that crap with you. Don't bring your cell phone in the building, because if you bring it in, you'll have to put it in a little locker in a little cubby. So probably just leave it in your car. After you come in, you're going to sit in little rows and wait before they give you instructions, and every time a person leaves or gets up, you all are going to have to slide down your little rows. Instructions are pretty simple, pretty straight away, basically, no cheating, be mindful of other people, be quiet, da-da-da-da. And you go in there, it's all done on the computer, it's timed, and I think as far as pointers go, really take a deep breath, really calm yourself down. It's not that serious. If you fail by a chance, which is not a pass-fail test, but if your score isn't strong enough, your AFQT score, which is based on 4 subsections of the test, if it's not strong enough, at least that minimum 50, then, you can wait, I think it's 6 months. It may be as quick as 90 days though. You just wait a couple months, re-up, do a little bit of studying, whatever parts you didn't feel comfortable with, maybe get a tutor for those sections, and then you can take it again. It's not a big deal if you fail, it's not the end of the world. But anyway, I say the main thing is to really take a deep breath, make sure you eat a good, solid breakfast. You don't want to be hungry, stomach growling in there. Make sure you use the bathroom. You will have plenty of downtime before you actually take the test to go use the bathroom and to calm your nerves and make sure everything is good to go before you actually go and take the test. As far as taking the actual test, do not let the time freak you out. I kind of did that. I kind of let that, because the computer screen is like literally counting down. There's a little time up there that lets you know constantly how much time that you have left, which is a good thing. It's a bad thing. Just figure you have, actually in reality, about a minute per question. A little more than that. So 60 seconds for a question is actually a long time. So you really want to take your time. And you can't go back. That's the one downfall to a computer test, versus a written test, is you can't skip the ones you don't know and go back. So you really want to take your time and answer the questions carefully. And if you feel like you're spending more than a minute and a half per question, then go ahead and, I wouldn't say skip it, but go ahead and guess what you think it is. My thing is, there's normally one or two that you know can't be it. So between those other two, if the answer, like say you narrowed it down to A and C, just go ahead and pick C. Okay? If you narrowed it down to B and D, go ahead and pick B. A and D are not arrived on. It's not chosen as the correct answer as often as B and C. So if you narrowed it down to 2, you know it can't be it, and you have 2 left. If the answer is now, if you narrow it down to B and C, I don't know, any, mighty, more, but you don't want to Christmas tree it. The ones that you don't know, try to consistently pick a letter. It's more likely that you'll get it correct. As far as guessing it goes. But really take your time. Make sure you read the question several times before you actually answer it. Even if you're pretty sure you know what they're asking, read it again. You may have, maybe you didn't realize they said which one of these is not, versus know which one of these is. Just make sure you really take your time and read through the questions. And it's really not that big a deal, because he told me to brush up on my math a little before I went, and he gave me the website purplemath.com, which actually was not helpful at all. That website sucks. I brushed up on my math the day before, in between my classes, the day before the test. When I got out of my statistics class, I went upstairs to the lab and just searched, did a Google, Yahoo search for asvab practice test, and then give you questions, like an example of how the test is going to be set up exactly like it. It's actually pretty awesome. It gives you a little time, and you can pick, which sections you want to practice. Maybe you want to practice on the mechanical side, the electrical side. You want to look up a few things before you go. Personally, I didn't look up the mechanics and electronic stuff, because if your score isn't strong in there, you're not going to be qualified for the job in that field. So I didn't worry about it too much. I mean, I knew a couple things, but it wasn't that big a deal. And also, don't get so caught up in getting like the highest score possible. The highest you can get is a 99. Don't freak out trying to get a 90. Especially right now, because there aren't a whole lot of jobs available. Like, my score is an 89. I'm supposed to be able to qualify for virtually any job, but there aren't a whole lot of jobs out there. Like, I know a kid who actually got a 90 on his test. Found out he was colorblind, so all he qualifies now for is culinary specialist, like a cook. So I would say don't really concern yourself with the job right now. Just get in. Get in, do your time, whatever, job that you can get, and then in a year or two, then, you can apply to switch over to a different job. What you really want to do right now is get in, because I heard a guy say he tried to come in May and there were no jobs, period. Like, they were turning people away. So I would say get in and really just relax. Take your time, make sure you're calm and you're cool, and just do the best that you can. If you have the time to brush up, like I said, do a little search on asvab practice test, so you really can get a feel for the way that the test is set up. That's the only weird thing about it, is for me, that's how I take my test. I go through the whole thing, do the ones that I know, then I go back through and do the ones that, I'm pretty sure about, and then I go back through and do the ones that I really don't, have no clue on, and do those last, so that I can spend the most time on them. Because sometimes, with me, the more time that I spend on the question, the more it makes sense to me, and I'm like, oh, dude, I know this. So it was a little difficult for me to be able to, hey, this is your one shot. You either know this question or you don't, and move on, you can't go back. That was it took a little getting accustomed to for me. One thing that was not on any website that I checked with asvab was a section at the very end, and they give you like a spreadsheet full of numbers and words, and they'll tell you, hey, find the word cool. You find cool on the spreadsheet and see what number, like 1922, corresponds with that word, and then you have to choose A, B, C, or D that corresponds with that. But they give you literally like 3 seconds, like 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3, boom, that's it. So to comb through the whole spreadsheet, find that one, and then, okay, now you know the number, but then when you look back down here, the multiple choice has disappeared already. So you have to try to remember, well, dang, where was that number? So that was hard for me. that was the hardest part for me. I was like, whoa, like my eyeballs don't move that fast, and I wear glasses, and I'm like, oh shoot, are you serious? So it was crazy. That part was the hardest for me, honestly. But it's really not that serious. Just take your time, comb through it the best of your ability, and you'll do fine. Have any specific questions? Hit me up in the comment section below in my inbox, and I'll get back to you. Bye.